Hello everyone, this is Giro Shen back once again with another ship video. This one, I actually got the prison ship from the prison shuttle from the quest line where you picked that up, and so I modified it yesterday, and so I'm going to show you what it looks like today. Then I'm going to stop the video, and then I am going to update it again because of an idea for a new ship, and I just wanted to share this ship before I tear it apart. That way, if I ever want to look at it again, I can do that. So that's where we are with that. So let's go out to the updater, and here we are. This is Bootstrap. You may have seen this one. And here is the rat terrier. Now, I call it a rat terrier because a lot of terriers have a big head and their little body, and they're that way because they chase rats, so they're rat terriers. So that's why I called it this. It's not a denigration. I have a rat terrier, actually. I have two of them, but anyway. So this is the ship the way it stands right now. So let's open the builder and build you, and let's peel it apart. Layer by layer, as we are wont to do. And we'll pull that off to the side. And then over here we got the second layer. Oh, come on. That was all me. I didn't tap right, evidently. And this is the bottom. So it's just the three layers. It was a pretty simple ship before. And I actually kept one of the halves. I believe it's that one. Yep, that's the one. So this was the armory that came with it in the original. It was a Hope-Tech armory. I just left it. I don't like the Hope-Tech armory. I'm going to tell you that right out front, and I will probably get rid of it. I much prefer the Nova Galactic armory. That's my favorite one, but we'll see what I end up using. I have a little cough, so we're going to have some problems. Starting with the bottom. I changed it out the nose connector, the nose dock for this landing 120 LD landing bay, which is a Deimos version. I made all these changes at Deimos, and it costs about $100,000 to make the changes the way it sits right now. So I made the LD. I upgraded the reactor to the 26 power generated 154 millimeter toroidal reactor. And I left, and upgraded the grab drive as well to 23 grab thrust. The previous one was 14, which wasn't enough. So that's the bottom layer. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So then I went to the parts that came with the ship. So this, and then I added this Deimos control station. So we're going to just take those and slide them over here to where they go. Come on, let go of my ego. So that was the way I stuck it. So the reason I stuck it that way is then I wouldn't have to have a companionway because we got rid of it when we made this too long instead of, just a single piece that it was out in front. So the ladder is going to come up to right there pretty much every time, and we'll have a doorway back here to the next piece. After I did that, I went over here and put this piece on, and I staggered it between the two pieces. So that was how I connected that. Then I took this cockpit and I stuck it right there on in the front. So now I've got my cockpit and my bottom. I did end up with a ladder going straight up to the next level. So you come up, it's an automatic rise, then you have to climb one ladder, and that's pretty much all there is. So I did this a lot of different ways. I put a lot of different things back here, and I ended up with this White Dwarf 3030. And I ended up with that because these two engines were not enough to get me a 100 mobility. So once I added the 3030, I'll delete it. You can see it's a 61 mobility, and then I'll return it, and it's 100 mobility. So I wanted these 2-point engines. I was going to put a Moon 7, but I was still only in my 90s on mobility when I used the Moon 7, and that would have given me a 6 points engine. This gives me 7. So my shield is a 7. I chose this shield. It's the Marduk 1040A shield generator. It's an A because I am still an A. I'm using A gear. And I got 7 max power for 760 shield, which is a pretty decent return. Then I wanted a slimline docker since I removed the other docker. And then I needed a place to put weapons, so I grabbed these two and stuck them here. Now, I do have the comm spike and the I forget what the other one's called. I was just looking at it too. The conduction grid on this because I have done the quest. That's how I got the ship, right? And then I had the fuel tanks on there. Now, I wanted to use what I already had as much as possible. So I kept the 2 landing gears, and this one, the conduction grid, the comm spike, interfered with it, so I cheated it into place. I merged it into place. The other side was fine. And then I used the cargo that was already on it to give me the 1150 cargo space, which is in addition to 360 that came from the bridge. So 360 plus those 2 gave me an 1150 cargo space. I don't have any cargo habs on here at all. Those are the only 3 habs I have. Then I needed the rest of the landing gear on there, so I put one on each side in the open slots. And that left me with not enough space for guns. So I put this little thing underneath, one of my favorite items to put on. I thought about turning it around, but I left it the way it was, and I may not keep it. The whole thing with this ship was I knew I was going to upgrade it again for this ship idea, so I put it together just to make it a viable ship build. So I am using the Vanguard weapons. So the Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors, which are my favorite, absolute favorite weapons, and the reason they're my favorite weapons is the 3000 range plus the most damage of any 3000 range weapon in the game outside of missiles. So from a particle weapon perspective, 6 of these on your ship do more damage than any other particle beam weapon in the game. And that's just a fact. You go over the amount of time that you're firing them. 10 seconds is your fire rate, 6.65 per 10 seconds. 6 of them firing, and they are over 400 points of damage. I did the math on a spreadsheet for all of the particle weapons that were out there. And the number 2 is the PBO 375. Number 3 is the PBO 300. So, they are pretty much all in the same class of weapon. But with these ones, I think it's the 6 that give you the edge. You can have 6 of them. They're only 2 points of power apiece. And as you can see, it uses up all the power that we have. And then I have a missile launcher on top. The Vanguard missile launcher was 6 points, and that was too much power to use. So I'm using 26 on my reactor. I'm using 29 power total. It turns into a nice, neat little A ship with plenty of cargo, plenty of get up and go, and lots of mobility. Now, I could have boosted that a little more by moving this around somewhere else and putting a couple of extra 3015s in there and making all these White Dwarfs 3015s, making 3 of them, using me 9 points of power instead of 7. But it would have given me a 180 top speed but I like this one better. I like the cropness. And then if I wanted to, I could go and put a one of these Stroud engine mounts, the engine bracer, and put these out, which would give it that longer outside look. And it's a pretty cool look. I mean, you know, you got to, I mean, I'd have to admit it is pretty cool. It doesn't do anything to the mobility of the ship or anything else. But it does look pretty cool, and you could do that just to give it that extra kind of coolness of the engine way out there. But, you know, like I said, it's not necessary, and the only thing it added was aesthetics, and I was going to be throwing this away, so this build away. So I didn't do it. So that was the way I built the ship right there. Take a quick look inside so you can see what it looks like. Oh, I gotta make it my home ship.
Hello, Captain.
So here is the ramp in. And as usual, I have pretty simple ships. So this goes up one, and turn around, and this is the bridge. No, the bridge was forward over here. That's not it either. Oh, bridge is up a level. Sorry. So this is the computer core. Now, this is really not necessary. You get 4 points of crew from the bridge. So you could, if you're not going with the big crew, you could swap this out for something else. What immediately pops into mind is another armory, which was there before. This is the armory, and what I don't like about this armory is right here. This is the whole thing. The rest of it is just like garbage areas. And that's fine when you need those garbage areas, but I love the mannequins. There's twin mannequins in the glass cases that you get on the Nova, and there's just a little bit more space. They don't have this jail cell, and there's no need a jail cell. It's an armory. What am I going to do? Put a critter in there and keep it and call it my pet that I keep locked up? I don't know. But here is the upper level, which is just an all-in-one. So, I mean, you know, it's just all the same. It's got a galley, so it's a pretty good all-in-one. And then the cockpit up ahead. And that's the entirety of the ship. I do like this ship. It's got all of the required stuff is all close together on one side, and there's Amelia Earhart. And then on the other side there isn't anything, so if I needed to I could put like, what I usually end up putting it over here when I'm using this as a regular ship is I'll put a bounty board to reduce my bounty. And then the ship itself, the bridge itself with all the stuff in it. So that was pretty much what I wanted to show you today. Also back here, this is my loader to go out of the ship on star bases, etc. And it's a pretty simple ship. Very simple, very straightforward. One ladder. And if you're any good with your jump pack, you can just jump pack up and either grab the side and pull up like that, or if you have a better jump pack skill, you can just jump up and land on your feet. So it just depends on where you're at with that. So this is my Rat Terrier. Wonderful ship that I really like. So I'm going to go out, end the video, and we will, how many life forms are roaming? This is your planet where your home is. Anyway, so this is my base, my drug base on Jemison. I do all my amp building here, and I did find out that they have, if you go at the edge of this, oh come on, at the edge of this and the southern biome, then you end up with chlorine, and if you get chlorine in addition, and then one of the critters down there drops stuff that is sedative, so you can, with sedative and chlorine and all this, you can make snake oil, and then put those together, all three or all two, those two together, along with some stuff you're already making, and make the O2 shot. So that's a wonderful thing for in a outpost such as this one. So anyway, we'll be back in a few minutes in my next video where we'll talk about the upgrade, and I'm going to actually perform the upgrade on camera. I don't do it very often, especially on these, because I'm trying out something new. I don't know if it's going to work out or how it's going to work out or how it's going to look in the end, but it's going to be kind of interesting, so I'll be doing that. So this is Garrison saying be excellent to one another, and peace out.